and give you guys the opportunity to learn about the swim season and what to expect from being a part of our team and being a part of our program, and also give you guys the opportunity to answer or ask any questions that you might have. So first off, I'm Will Turnbull. If you don't know me already, I'm the head coach. This is my sixth season with the high school team as the head coach. This is like one of my favorite things that I do professionally. It's definitely the most rewarding, and it's something that I look forward to every season. Um, I am blessed to work with a really awesome coaching staff that these are all returning coaches world of high school coaching, and it just goes to show how great our don't know. Megan Webster is returning as our diving coach again. So she works with our divers. Mike Oziomek is our strength and performance coach. He's been on for a few years now, and he is just doing tremendous things with all of our teams at Cuyahoga Falls High School. Megan Joe Perianos and Kaylee Johnson are all returning as assistant coaches as well. Coach Peter's going to be around to help out occasionally too with the meets and a practice here and there. We'll also have some alumni pop in and out, but this is our coaching staff, and again, I'm very lucky to be able to work with them throughout the season. I want to talk about communication. So, our main form of communication is going to be parent and student square. So, it is incredibly important that all of our student athletes are signed up for the swimming and diving group on Student Square. I just emailed all of our anybody that was interested in swimming and diving this year yet a couple days ago to let them know if they were signed up for Parent or Student Square, and a large number of them, both returning and newcomers, were not. So please make sure that they are signed up because that's where you're going to get all the notifications about what the team is doing throughout the year. Parents, we need to make sure that we have at least one parent or guardian on that group as well. So if you just go into Parent Square and look in the groups within CFHS and type in swimming and diving, you'll see the group. You can add yourself. You can also scan the QR code here. I'm going to send out this slideshow as well, which are going to have a bunch of links to all of this information as well. So again, make sure you're signed up for that. I'm also available through email. Again, most of it should be through Parent and Student Square, but if you need something, I check my email more than I should. So I'm available there. Texting, I prefer you don't text me, to be completely honest. We have those other forms of communication available. But if you do need to text me, that's okay. Athletes, though, should only text the coaches, me or any of the other coaches, with a parent on the thread. It's a school rule. It's an OSHA rule. Otherwise, we as coaches cannot respond. So, when in doubt, just use Parent and Student Square for sure. We have a team website that has uh, most information for pretty much everything that we do as a team throughout the year. It has our schedules, our meet results, our team order information, fundraisers, alumni information, all kinds of stuff. So make sure that you bookmark that website as well. We share that website with our summer team and have a page for our Tiger Shark program, which is our youth swim team on there as well. But you'll want to click on the high school team, and it has a lot of information there. You want to use that as a hub as you go throughout the year, in addition to Parent and Student Square. We do have a Facebook and Instagram account that kind of posts the same thing, so make sure you give that a follow. We post a lot of great stuff on there. Coach Kaylee and I work hard to keep that updated throughout the season. On the website, you're going to find a team handbook that's been updated for this year that has a lot of specifics about our team. It's like a 20-page document, but a lot of that stuff is important that you know it. We are going to go over it with the kids on our first Monday meeting on Monday the 27th, so that they know all that information, but it's also up to you as parents and guardians to make sure that you know what's going on in that team handbook as well. That's on the website. If you just go to the team handbook page, you can get that. It has information about our schedules, our policies and procedures, conflict resolution, our expectations of the kids and of you as parents. And most importantly, at the end, the last page of that handbook is a contract that the student athletes are going to sign with the coaching staff, and a parent or guardian as well. And that just basically says that you understand everything that's in the handbook as you go throughout the season. So please, again, make sure you take a look at that briefly. I really appreciate it. Before the first practice, our first practice is next Friday, the 24th. So for swimmers and divers, we're going to ask them to meet at the high school library. It should be the library, from 3 to 3:30 ish. Might be a little less than that. But we're just going to go over some basic information. We're going to get some paperwork filled out for the natatorium and some other things. After that, we're going to head over to the Nat to get the kids' Nat passes and to have them swim their first practice. Now, I do know that there is a football game that night. If anybody needs to be there for band or football or cheerleading or whatever you need to be there for, swim practice is not required that first day because of that conflict by any means. But if they're able to stop by after school briefly, so that we're all together on that first day, that would be awesome. Now, before the first practice, you need to make sure that your swimmer and diver is signed up on Final Form. Kids that are not signed up right now on the roster, contact information, their emergency contact information. We need all of that so that we can turn that into the natatorium so that they can get them their Manat passes for the first day of practice. So it's very pertinent that gets done as soon as possible. Also, on final forms, you're going to need to make sure that you sign any forms that are required by you as parents or your kids. You need to make sure that they have an updated sports physical on file as well. Um, as you get all that done, if you have any questions about how to get that physical or where to go for that, you can contact the athletic department and they'll be able to do that too. Jennifer, divers come that Friday for passes, but not practice. Correct, correct. So the divers' first practice will be the Monday, the 27th. But in order to get them their NAT passes and everything, it'd be best for them to show up on Friday for that short little meeting at the start. And then we'll take them over to the NAT, get their NAT passes, and then they'll be good to go on their way. So. And again, I didn't say this at the beginning, but if you have any questions throughout this, I'm going to stay on afterwards. You can ask me there, but also you can just throw it in the chat and I'll try to answer it best I can. Um, okay, next, you need to make sure that they have a natatorium waiver signed. That's a liability waiver, so a parent or guardian needs to sign that unless they're 18. That is posted on our website. I'm going to send out that as well as a bunch of other information that we are going to go over tonight on Parent and Student Square tomorrow. So again, they need to have that waiver in order to be able to swim. If they don't on Friday, I'm going to have some hard copies there. You might need to come to the school and have and sign that paper for them real quick. Happens every year. It's not a big deal. But again, just make sure they have that done. And then finally, in final forms, there's a pay to play fee. We try to keep that as small as possible. Or the athletic department works to do that. It's $100 for the first sport, $75 if it's your second sport, and that's typically due by the first meet, which is December 3rd. If you have issues with that payment, if essentially, just wanted you to know about that ahead of time. Swimmers for the first practice should plan to bring a practice suit. So for girls, that should be a one-piece bathing suit, not a bikini. For boys, it should be a jammer or a brief. Preferably, if they only have swim trunks, that'll work for the first few practices, but you're going to want to get them a practice suit eventually. They'll need goggles. We'll have caps for them if they need them for their longer hair. They should bring a water bottle, and they should also bring a towel. We'll have everything else that they need at that first practice. I want to go over the practice schedule really quickly. So this is something that is a weekly guideline for what the practice schedule looks like, and I just kind of want to go over it in a little bit of detail so we are all on the same page. Keep in mind, this is a guideline for the weekly schedule. You're going to want to look at our monthly calendars, which is also on the front page of the website. We have the October and November schedule or calendar posted that has all our specific things that we're doing on any particular dates. So make sure that you take a look at that. The main thing is if they're swimming, they have a swim practice after school every day from 3:20 to 5:40. We're going to be in the water from 3:30 to 5:30. There's a 10-minute gap or a 10-minute buffer there at the start for dynamic warm up outside of the pool or any team meetings. And then there's a 10-minute gap at the end for stretching. Um, on Mondays, we have team meetings, so that's swimmers and divers. That's right after school, generally 3 to 3:30. And that's something that we started last year, and I'm really glad we did because it gives everybody the opportunity to meet together at the start of the week to kind of go over what to expect that week. We also do a lot of other things with our team meetings, with topics based on nutrition and sports psychology and goal setting, both for the teams and then for individuals. So it's something that is required for everybody on Mondays. After that, you have swimming. Now, I want to talk about the swimming timeline a little bit and what it looks like and how it's different this year because of our new campus. So normally our swim practice is 3 to 5:30. We are moving that back 20 minutes. One, because they moved the school day back a little bit. I think it ends at 2:50 now. And then also to allow for some transportation time from the new campus starting in January. We're going to keep the same time schedule the whole season to make it simple. That means that in this first semester that they're going to have extra time to get over to the pool more than they normally do, which is great. But that also means in January that gives us some more time to get over there. I'm going to be very upfront. We're going to be very lenient with that transportation and getting used to that new schedule and the challenge of getting them from the new school campus to the natatorium for practice. We're going to work with them. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on here. But I just wanted to make sure that I went over that is something that is in mind and it's something that we're aware of and trying to plan for. Okay, select swims. So on Monday mornings, we're going to have a morning swim for our more experienced athletes and swimmers that um, they're going to have I'm going to create a roster of who's going to be at those practices starting or during the first week of practice. The first Monday morning practice doesn't start until the second full week of practice, so November 3rd. Um, I will send out a roster and talk with the kids to make sure that they know if they're supposed to be there or not. If they're a new swimmer, they're not going to be at those practices. If they were there at those practices last year, you can probably expect them to be there this year. We are not doing any Thursday morning practices this year. We have gone on and off with doing those. We're electing to not do those this year. Um, so if you have any questions about that, let me know. With our lifting with Coach Mike, we do have those on Tuesday and Friday mornings as well as Saturday afternoons. We're going to talk about practice expectations because I know some of us that are new might be kind of raising an eyebrow at morning practices. But it's an important part of what we do in our program and important part of being a part of the swim team. But there are some expectations and some exceptions to the lifting as well. So we'll get into that in a little bit here. Um, Finally, there's team dinners. That's a tradition that we have. So on Tuesday nights, typically before our home meets, one of our families will host the swimmers and divers at their house, usually for spaghetti dinner. It's just a way for the kids to bond before their meets. We're going to send out information on that soon as well. Brooke Turney will have a link to send out for that to sign up for it. But again, I just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware that those are a thing. For our divers, you're going to want to talk with Megan about your practice schedule, but generally they're going to have it's the same schedule as last year, so they're going to have diving at Western Reserve Academy in Hudson from 6:30 to 8 on those Mondays and Wednesdays. Now, the reason that we have to do that is that we just are not able to get diving time at the nat on those days, but we also want to make sure they're getting enough practice. So this is something we've done for years. It usually works out pretty well. We're able to have diving at the natatorium on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30. Usually Megan does some dry land beforehand, 6:30 to 7, just so you're aware of that as well. Now for divers on Tuesdays with the team dinners, we're going to make sure that you're able to do both the team dinners and the practice. It might look like you have to leave practice a little early or start a little early, but we'll make sure that it works for you. For anybody that's interested in swimming and diving, it is challenging, I will be honest, but it is absolutely doable. We're going to work with them to make sure that their schedule is something that they're able to be successful in the water, both as a swimmer and a diver, but also be able to be successful in the other things that they do in the classroom and so on. So that is something that we'll talk with them individually about. I think there's only one person so far that I know of that wants to do both. So again, that's kind of an individual conversation to have, but it is something that we offer. Um, when it comes to practice attendance, so I keep a very up to date and specific to each individual. I keep a spreadsheet that keeps their practice attendance percentage throughout the year, and that is very important because it plays into our varsity letter guidelines. And that is something that's in the team handbook that you guys can look at. But attendance is an important part of um, what we do, right? It's about being dedicated to the team. So with that being said, practices are mandatory for the most part, right? All those afternoon practices are mandatory. If they miss a practice without an approved excuse, they're not going to be able to compete in the next meet. And I have done that before. It does not matter if they're the best swimmer on the team or the worst swimmer on the team. We have those expectations in there for a reason. However, with that being said, I know that sounds harsh, but approved excuses include a lot of things. So if they're sick, that's an approved excuse. They just need to make sure you need to make sure they're seeing a doctor to get better. Same thing with injury. Obviously, if they're injured for any period of time, that's an approved excuse. If they're behind on schoolwork, that is something that we work with them on, where they are student athletes in that order. Academics are ultimately why they're in high school, and it takes it precedent over athletics. Absolutely. So it's not uncommon for us to have swimmers that say, "Hey, I'm behind on schoolwork. Can I work on homework for the first half of practice today?" We always allow that, as long as it's not a privilege that's abused. But again, that's a valid reason. And then finally, and most importantly, if you as parent or guardians contact me excusing them for any other reason, so that covers everything else, right? If they have an appointment, if they have, if you have a family emergency, if you have literally anything else going on, as long as you tell me before practice starts, then they're excused. If you tell me a week later, that's going to go against them. So I just ask that you help me with that. There's more reasons to it than you would think. The main thing is that we are responsible for these kids after school during practice time. So if they're not there and we don't know why, that is a problem for sure. So please just make sure you keep that line of communication open with me and as we go throughout the season. Now, exceptions. Uh, for first year student athletes on our team, morning practices are not required by any means. So I know it's hard for sure. We don't want to turn kids away because of those early morning lifts. But again, they're strongly encouraged. It's something that is complementary to what we do at practice in the pool. So we want to see them there as much as they can be, but we're not going to require it their first year for sure. All afternoons and Saturdays are still mandatory, just to be clear. Um, Now, if you're somebody that's a returner, we do have a morning practice skip rule. So if you're somebody that does the morning lifts, you're allowed two morning practice skips throughout the year. No questions asked, no problem. If you have to stay up late to study, don't come to practice in the morning. Use a skip. If you have an appointment in the morning, use a skip. Again, just use them wisely. If you're somebody that does the Monday morning swim and the lifts, you get three skips throughout the season. I know I skipped the part at the top. Winter break training is a different schedule. Typically, we swim in the morning because we have the opportunity to, and then it gives you guys the opportunity to spend time with your kids during winter break. But winter break training is a very important part of what we do in high school swimming. It helps them to be successful at the end of the season. So just be aware of that. I will send that out in the December calendar once the season gets started, but I need to work with the NAT on getting the specifics set up for that. Okay, keep going here. So our meet schedule, I posted this a little while ago, but wanted to make sure that we went over it in some detail here. Now, when it comes to our swim meet schedule, there's three different kinds of meets. There's dual meets, which are between us and one other team or two other teams if it's a double dual. There's invitationals, which are a bunch of teams that come to a meet. We both have diving and swimming invitationals. There's actually a couple diving invitationals that aren't on here. I know that Megan's going to work with the divers on that. Um, but their invitationals, there's a little bit more range to them. We have some that all student athletes are able to go. We have some where it's just divers. We have some where there are time cuts, right? So they have to have certain time standards and events to be able to qualify. So that's like the Northeast Classic invite and the Canton Christmas invite. So we'll be very clear with the kids throughout the season about which meets they can expect to go to. Um, and we'll talk more about it as we go through the season. Championship meets, we have Suburban League Championships, which is just our in-conference teams on January 3rd for swimmers and the 2nd for divers. That's a super important mid-season milestone for us. Then we also obviously have the OSHA tournament at the end of the season with sectionals, districts, and states. We have JV champs where some of our swimmers that aren't able to compete at sectionals may swim at JV champs. It's a great meet as well for those of us that have swam at it before. You know it is. So um, we'll go over championship expectations and all that stuff as we get closer to them in February. For our home meets, a few notes here. You do need to make sure that you have a state issued photo ID in order to enter the meet. You do need to make sure you buy tickets unless you're volunteering at the meet. Um, we do need volunteers for our meets. Running swim meets takes a lot of people. It takes timers, it takes people to run the timing system and so on. All of the jobs are pretty easy, but we do need help with them. So we will send out a sign up Genius link to everybody once we get closer to the start of the meet, so everybody can sign up for those. Um, my mother, Becky Turnbull, is going to be in charge of that this year, taking over for Dave Ulbricht after he did it for so many years. And she's going to do a great job. So if you have any questions about that leading up to the season, let me or her know. Um, Again, championship tournament information will go over. And again, a detailed schedule with all of our times and meet information and addresses and stuff like that is on the website as well. It's not fully 100% complete yet. There are still some question marks, but for the most part, it's on there. I'm also going to send out weekly reminders with that information as well as we go through the season. Fundraising. So fundraising is a very important thing that we have to do in order for our team to be successful. And we already do a great job of it, but I think we're going to do even better this year. Fundraising is something that we need to in order to buy, um, equipment for our team to be successful, to update the timing system as we need to do all the extra fun stuff that makes our team special. That otherwise we wouldn't be able to pay for. So just to go through to go through the ones that we're going to be doing this year as of right now. I'm going to actually start at the bottom. So we actually already have a couple of these under our belt, and I want to thank those of us that have helped with it already. On Friday, we worked parking at the football game, made a few $100 for our swim team, which is awesome. Also today at the Tiger Shark meet that a lot of us just spent the whole day at. Um, we did our Good Luck Duck fundraiser, where we sold rubber ducks to the kids at the swim meets, and it was wildly successful, way more than I thought it would be, which is awesome. We're going to do those a few times throughout the year. So, thank you to those of us that worked that table today, and helped out with that. Because of that, we're going to be able to pay for the team T-shirts this year. That's something that you as parents don't have to pay for now because we did that. So it's awesome to have that done. We also normally do Super Bowl squares near the end of the season as well. We offer corporate sponsorships. That's something that we've done a little bit throughout the years, but it's something I think we could do even bit more with throughout the season. I know we have that information posted on our website already, but it's also very flexible. If you know a small business in the area that wants to support our team, we'll work with them in pretty much any capacity that they're willing to work with us in. So, just if you know any small businesses, let me know. We run a basket raffle at one of the near the end of the season meets. I think this year it's going to be the Talmadge and Cloverleaf meet in mid-January. We collect and create baskets for a raffle that we do at those meets. Again, we're going to send out more information about that. Brooke Turney is in charge of the basket raffle. Typically, we have our juniors and seniors put a basket together, and our freshmen and sophomores do the same. And then parents do a wonderful job of collecting donations to put those baskets together as well from local businesses or just on your own. So it's a great fundraiser for us every year. We're excited to do it again this year. And then finally, and most importantly, this is a new fundraiser that we are doing this year. We are going to be working with the company Snap Raise which is a crowdfunding company that partners with teams like ours to help us collect donations from those of from people that are willing to help us out and support our team. We have a really rich legacy and a lot of alumni that support our team year after year. We've already had things like this, but this is going to be a much more organized and hopefully a lot more successful and effective fundraiser. Some of the other teams at Falls have already done this fundraiser with this company, and it's been very successful. So we're excited for it this year. It's pretty low effort. All the kids have to do is collect 20 email addresses and 10 phone numbers of anybody that they think would be willing to donate and support our team. Um, and then we compile that into a database, and then the company takes over from there and sends out information about donating and so on. So I think it's going to be very successful for us based on with alumni donations in previous years. This is something that we are going to go over in depth at our first Monday meeting on the 27th. And then we are actually going to have a meeting with our representative from SnapRaise on the next Monday meeting, so November 3rd, in which they are going to need to have all of their email addresses and phone numbers done. We're going to input all of them into the database, and they're going to take over from there. The cool thing about this is that if they get enough people from their contact list to donate, then they're going to be eligible for prizes, which is going to be like apparel and merchandise with our team logo and things like that on it, which is really awesome. Snap is also going to have a team gear shop for us, so an online store, which is going to have all kinds of apparel and merchandise, way more than what we normally offer year to year. And that's going to be something that's open year round. It's going to be something that we get a 10% kickback on as a fundraiser to our team. And that's going to be like if you're a parent that wants, a t-shirt or a hoodie or something with our team logo on it, that's going to be the place where you're able to order that. Unfortunately, I don't have that ready quite yet. That'll probably open around November 3rd when we start the Snap fundraiser. Uh, but I will make sure that I send that out for you guys. Things should be able to, even on November 3rd, if you order close to that, things will be able to be in before our meets. So it's a really awesome thing this year that I'm excited to have. And I will send out more information tomorrow about this. Which brings me to other merchandise orders or team orders. So these are the required things that you have to buy for your student athlete. Number one is a team swimsuit. That is something that you have to buy. It's a personal item for your kids that everybody's required to buy. The good news is it's the same suit year over year. So if they swam last year and they got the suit last year, they'll be good to go if it's still in good shape and still fits them. If not, if you're new, you can order that suit through Swim Outlet, our team store. The link's right there. It's also on our website. So you want to make sure you do that. That is something that they have to have in order to compete at the meets. Next, a one-time purchase. If they're a swimmer, they need a snorkel. It's also a personal item that they need to get. It's about 30 bucks, but it is a tool that we use almost daily at practice, and it's super important that they get it. You can either get that through the Swim Outlet store, or I would recommend just on Amazon because it's quicker to get it. If you ordered it today or tomorrow, it'll definitely be in before the first practice. If you cannot afford one of those for some reason, that is okay. We have a bunch of them, or a handful of them that and donated from alumni. You can take it home, wash it real good, and then they can have that one. Not a problem by any means. I just recommend getting your own. Um, Finally, if they're a first year, they need to get a team warm-up jacket as well. That's through Young's. It's also an online order that you can do. It's open now, so you can put that order in. All these orders are due by November 3rd, so that we can get them in time for the meets. Okay. Again, if you can't afford a team warm-up jacket, let me know and we will figure out an alternative option for you. Provided by the team, I try to grow this list every year to make sure that you guys don't have to pay a lot out of pocket. Number one, our practice equipment. So mesh bags with kickboards, pull buoys, fins, paddles, and basically everything but the snorkel is provided by the team year over year. Number two, they get a team backpack as well that they can borrow throughout the season. I'm excited to say that this year we're going to be able to buy everybody one silicone cap with their last name on it that hopefully will last the whole season, especially if they only wear it for swim meets. It should last the whole season. And then we're also going to buy them team t-shirts this year. It's something that you almost always have to buy. This year we're covering it. And it's also a pretty cool jersey that they'll have their name and number on the back, and the kids are already excited about it, the ones that I've shown. Additionally, optional buy on your own. So if you want to buy your swimmer more than one silicone cap with their name on it or without their name on it, I have a quick little Google form for you to order or fill in so that I can include that on their order or on our cap order with everybody else. Um, that is one order that we can do each year. It's very expensive to do like individual orders, so just make sure you have that in there. And then finally, there's going to be an online store through the Snap fundraiser that I will send that information out as soon as I can. We're just still working on putting it together. So all in all, again, all you have to buy if you're a returner is a swimsuit if you need a new one, and if you're new, a swimsuit, snorkel, and warm-up jacket. I want to give you some information about our athletic department and booster club. So our athletic department, our athletic director, Mr. Kenny Johnson, there's his information if you need it, as well as Laura Duggar, who's our secretary. She's also very helpful if you need it. And then finally, our booster club. So our booster club does a wonderful job of supporting the teams, including ours, each year. They do run a membership drive, and it's $10 for the full year. I encourage everybody on the team to do this. The boosters are going to help us with buying those caps this year. That's just one of the things they do for us. So again, if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in being more involved with the boosters in general, they definitely are always looking for help. So just let me know or let them know for sure. Um, okay. Are there any questions about anything that I went over, anything that I didn't go over? I'll stay on for a little while, and if not, you're good to go. I appreciate you logging on tonight.
Which, well, I did have a question.
Yep.
How should we reach out to you if something should happen where they're not able to attend a practice?
So you can either do that through Parent Square or you can do that through email. The email on the screen right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, last call. Any questions? Must have been pretty clear and concise if there isn't any. So, but again, if there is any throughout, the next week or throughout the season, don't hesitate to reach out. I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody logging on. Have a good night. Um, Go Tigers.